Hey guys, Buff from Game Back today bringing out a video, and today for our weapon conversion series here for Modern Warfare 3, we are taking the brand new weapon here for the Week 4 challenges, the TAC Eradicator, and we are converting it into FN America's MDM-22, which was their MRGG, or their mid-range gas gun entry here for US SOCOM, which recently, I believe, concluded here just 2 or 3 months ago. It lost out to Geisley. However, this is a really nice weapon. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'll show you how to build this thing. And we'll jump into some firing range, see how it handles, and some gameplay. Go ahead and back out. Here's our final design for the MDM-22, or the MRGG entry from FN America, firing 7.62 by 51 NATO. So let's go ahead and back out. Final design. Let's go ahead and at base. Now again, the TAC Eradicator is part of the weekly week 4 challenges. So if we go to those challenges, weekly challenges, week 4, here you go. These are the challenges to unlock the TAC Eradicator. So you can do it for zombies also, zombies and multiplayer. Here you can see I just had someone drop it for me in zombies. To unlock it, that's the way you can do it. Is drop it in zombies, and extract with it is another way to do it. So taking the TAC Eradicator, what we're going to do is start with that at base. You can see we have our MRGG-A, or our MDM-22 rifle here saved as the blueprint. So we're going to start with the base TAC Eradicator. Go ahead and jump into this. So first off, for the suppressor. Now, the suppressor used on the MDM-22 is a very unique looking suppressor. It is based off the Huxworks Safety Co. suppressor. Nothing really close to it in game. You can get away with something similar to the Spitfire suppressor. L is a very good option. I think that is the closest resemblance-wise you're going to get to the Huxworth suppressor. However, it just doesn't quite, it doesn't have the right tan color with it, and there's really nothing else. You could go with the Cronin suppressor. However, it's too short and stubby for the RM277. So what we're going to want is the suppressor that goes with the SIG Spear. And that's going to give us the Bruin Harmonic Suppressor L. So this is meant to be chambered for white rifles in 6.8 by 51, which is the Spear and the RM277. However, here, for whatever reason, is compatible with this. I mean, that's not surprising because you have PBS4s and things like that. So we'll select the Bruin Harmonic Suppressor for radar detection, recoil control, and aim down sight is our combo. You can see you're getting 7.1% for recoil. We'll go ahead and select that. Barrel options will stay with the base barrel here. It doesn't state what the barrel length is really for any of these as far as length goes. The MRGG-A, or the MDM-22 Assault entry, has a 14.5-inch barrel. So again, you could go with the short barrel. However, that's going to not line up to the profile of the weapon in real life. So the base barrel is what you're going to want here. Laser option, we're going to go ahead and skip out on that. For the optic, we're going to go ahead and select the Ares Clear Shot. So in real life, these things are going to be shipping with a Vortex optic with backup red dots. So they'll be shipping with Vortex razors 1 to 10 by 24 with the backup Leopold point dots. So here we have as close as we're going to get in game with the Ares Clear Shot. You can see we're going to get a 7-time magnification with the canted mounted red dot, as well as recoil control and gun kick control. So you get 10% reduction of recoil, which is actually very good. So we'll go ahead and select that. It's a great optic stat-wise also. Now for the buttstock option, you're going to want a unique looking buttstock here. The TV X-Line Pro is as close as you're going to get. This is more in line with the sniper variant of the MDM-22. However, this is as close as we're going to get to the Assault version. The Assault version is very similar. However, it's more of an M4 style type buttstock system with a gap in between. You'll see in the final pictures. But the TV Line Pro going to give us aim down sight speed with a recoil con there of 7.2%, which we're making up for that with the suppressor and the optics. So that's not really going to hurt us much. Plus, you get a ADS speed increase of 7%. So your faster ADS speed there. Next up, rear grip. We'll skip that. Magazine, we're going to go with a 45-round magazine, even though it's modeled after a 30-round magazine, the 7.62 by 51, so I'm not sure why they're overloading it with 45. Same with the base is a 50-round drum, and they're overloading it with 75. So I think they did the same thing in Black Ops 2 with the hammer, but it is what it is. I think they meant this to be a different caliber originally and pivoted and made it 7.62. Not sure the reason they did that, but however, 45-round magazine, modeled after the 30-round Scar Heavy magazine. for the TAC-V. Going to give us movement speed, aim down sight speed, sprint fire capacity, reload quickness. And the con is magazine capacity is obviously reducing from 75 to 45. So we'll select that. And then the grip option. Unfortunately, you cannot use bipods or bipod grips with the Ares clear shot. However, you do have these candid grips available for this weapon, which is really cool. But we're going to go ahead and run the Bruin Warrior grip. This is essentially, I mean, it's not essentially, it is a bipod grip with the bipod collapsed inward. So typically on these weapons, these grips, there's a button, and the bipod will deploy down from the bottom of the handguard there, or the grip there. So that's what this weapon is, or the grip is. So this is just with the bipod collapsed. Similar bipod grip design to this. However, this is a little bit different version. You see something similar in Seriously Sandstorm and some other games also. Mixed between this and the bipod grip. So this is going to give us aim down sight speed, or aim walking steadiness, hip tack spread, and recoil. So we'll go ahead and select that for a 4.5 across the board reduction in recoil. And then for the camo, we're going to want the olive green camo for the solids. So we'll go ahead and run olive. Another really nice option, if you have it for bold, is going to be this mud. So that's another really clean option. Pretty much the same color. This one you can unlock for the MTZ556 via zombies challenges. But again, they're very similar colors. The mud is just a little bit darker than the olive. And this is our final design for the MDM-22, or our FN America mid-range gas gun MRGG-A assault entry here. In-game, made from the TAC Eradicator, or an amalgamation of the Scar Hammer and the Scar Heavy. So pretty nice looking weapon. Again, really clean looking. There's definitely some differences. Obviously the handguard is different here. The end of the handguard is different. Typically, the real-life weapon has M-locks on the handguard. This one already has built-in Picatinny rails on it. You do have a rail cover on the left-hand side here. And then you have Picatinny rails on 12, 3, 6, and 9 already. How in real life, this would just be M-locks on the handguard. There's obviously some distinct differences with the handguard for real life. Other things here, you have the charging handle is in the same spot. However, charging handle on this weapon in real life is non-reciprocating, and it's more of a it's not just the charging handle itself doesn't stick out. It kind of folds to the side, folds inward, like similar to a G36. So it wouldn't be protruding like this, and it would not be reciprocating. It'd be easy to just grab and charge a weapon. You also have ambidextrous fire safety controls, so select fire, bolt release, mag release, completely ambidextrous. On the real weapon, you would have a forward assist and a deflector here built in right on the ejection port, just like an M4. And you would also, on the real life version, have a rear charging handle, just like an M4 AR-10 patterned weapon. So that is the differences that we do not have in game. And obviously, the trigger is different in game. You have in real life, you have a different 2-stage type trigger. But other than that, this is pretty close to accurate for the MDM-22 or the MRGG-A entry for the mid-range gas gun. Let's go ahead and jump into the firing range here. See how this thing handles in-game here for the recoil. So again, this weapon in-game starts out with around that first 8 shots are going to be fired very rapidly at 838 rounds per minute, I believe it is. And then it's going to slowly drop off to probably around 650-ish and get very inaccurate. So just like we covered with the hammer the other day, pretty much the first 8 shots are going to be right on target and fire super quick. So we'll try this long target here. So pretty easy. Again, the first 8 shots you see there, I fired exactly 9 right there. And that last shot started to get crazy. So 6 to 8 is a nice little burst. Honestly, it handles pretty well in single fire too. You can fire this thing really fast in single fire. For multiplayer hardcore, that'd be a really good option also if you needed to. But again, the first 8 shots are going to be just very fast, very accurate. And then you can see you're going to drop off to around 600 something, and it's going to get kind of all over the place. So something to keep in mind, sustained fire with this, not recommended, not accurate, and not dependable. Even when you're mounting, you can get some heavy horizontal kick there. So this is the MDM-22 or the mid-range gas gun assault rifle version. Let's go ahead and check out the recoil. So I'll let this thing rip, not control it, and just note the first 8-ish shots are going to be that rapid gas setting, and then it's going to start kicking and climbing heavily. So ready? I'm not going to control this. Just let it go full auto. So there it goes. You can see the first couple shots. These are like multiple impacts right here and here, and then it starts climbing heavily, and then you're gonna get like a very, very drastic left pull, heavy vertical, and then a very drastic right pull. So let's just try controlling it for the whole magazine here. And that's me just pulling down. So you can see the horizontal, it's gonna get really heavy horizontal recoil. Now let's just try that first 8 shots-ish with that fast fire setting. So you can see they're pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. And now if I don't control it, let's try just not controlling it for the first 8. So you can see you're still getting very good shots, but definitely you're going to get a heavy horizontal kick on this if you let it go. So I do not recommend sustained fire because at ranges it's just not going to be controllable and you're going to be bouncing all around your target. So really, you want to do the first 8, and then you almost want to tap fire because it does take a little bit of a cooling period to reset to the rapid fire. You can't just burst 8 shots. Unfortunately, you got to kind of let it cool a little bit before resuming with a burst. So definitely you want to like burst the first 8 and then kind of burst fire at 1 to 2 shot bursts after that, unless you're going to let it cool. So let's just try. I'm going to dump the whole magazine here, and I'm going to do the first 8 and then kind of control the fire. So you can see it's not going to be a super dependable weapon, but it still is really fun, especially in multiplayer and hardcore. It's going to work really, really well. For Warzone, we're going to find out how it works. I'll be using it next Wednesday. Go to jump out, look at the camos with this thing really quick. You can see the camos you get at base. Nothing too crazy. That this last one here looks really, really nice. I do like this one. And then the other ones, again, a little funky. They're cool though, but not something I would use. I do like this one though. This Scorch one looks pretty neat. Also, I like the way it does look pretty decent on the weapon. Other than that, that is our final design for the MDM-22 or the mid-range gas gun entry for FN America. So again, this weapon, unfortunately, I believe it's really hard to find information on this. I remember that this popped up like a year or so ago. I saw this thing as like the next Scar, and basically that's what it is. It's kind of like an upgraded Scar or a cousin to the Scar. It looks very similar, obviously, and it's a really nice looking weapon. Obviously, they have the ambidextrous controls. They have the forward assist with the brass stopper. They have the rear charging handle in real life, Picatinny rails. Now here you're obviously going to have a little bit of a handguard difference with the way the gas system's worked into this weapon in game versus in real life. But it does, in real life, also have a gas setting for suppressed and unsuppressed, which is adjustable, so that's pretty cool. It's made to also fire with a low profile when shooting from nods. So they really did think of a lot of things with this weapon. It's a very beautiful weapon, and again, it does have a sniper variant as well, which looks a little bit different. It comes with a 20-inch barrel. The assault rifle version has a 14.5-inch barrel. So just some features of the weapon. You have an AR-style top-mounted charging handle, non-reciprocating side charging handle, a combination forward assist and brass deflector, FN's own 2-stage proprietary trigger. You have a height-adjustable bipod, which, again, would come on this weapon. You would have seen it in the photos already. You can't really put a bipod on with this optic in game, unfortunately. You have a barrel length specified to either 14.5 for the assault version or a 20-inch for the sniper version. You have compatible with SR25 magazines because it does come in both 7.62 by 51mm like we see here in game, or 6.5 Creedmoor, which you do have with the Mark 20 SSR version of the Scar platform in the game for Modern Warfare 2 also. So you could kind of make the sniper version out of that almost. But again, the handguards and mainly the handguard will be different on both those if you try to that and this if you try to make the sniper version. So maybe we'll get a nice blueprint to replicate that. You do have full-length Picatinny rails on the weapon in real life on the top of the weapon, the top receiver, the upper receiver. You have M-Lock compatible as well for the sides on the handguard, adjustable gas block, suppress and unsuppressed settings on the gas block. You have the Huxworks Safety Co. suppressor, which we discussed, cold hammered forged barrel, highly customizable stocks, interchangeable barrels. You also have available in 6.5 Creedmoor or 7.62 by 51 NATO, like I said. And then you have the Gen 3 or Gen 2 Razor Vortex based on the sniper or the assault version. which it would come with at base when you would order this thing, and the assault version has the backup Leopold Delta Point canted mounted on the weapon. So that's why we selected the optic we did here. Again, it's a really nice looking weapon. Unfortunately, I believe it lost out to the Geisley entry for the mid-range gas gun. However, there still is hope for this. Maybe this will pop up for law enforcement or some other militaries, but FN does have another entry for a different weapon, which we'll get into at a later point. Similar to this, but also different. I believe it's part of the individual weapon systems entry. Maybe the acronym for that, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is a very similar looking rifle to the MDM-22. However, there are some distinct differences. So I don't really think we can make that one would be a little bit of a stretch to make in game, just because of the position of the charge handle and a lot of the upgrades that they did on that entry, which is still ongoing, versus this entry. And that individual weapon system, or whatever the acronym is for that entry, is very similar to the NGSW program's specifications. So it begs the question, FN did submit weapons into the next generation squad weapon system program, and none of them were selected for the assault version, obviously. But I'm curious if what we're seeing here for the mid-range gas gun and the other individual weapon system program, whatever that one is, I can't remember what the acronym is, if that's kind of a modified version of what they did for the NGSW program. So pretty cool to see. Let me know your thoughts down below. All links, things like that, are in the bio. This is a really nice weapon. I think this is a really fun way to run this weapon, honestly, and it's good to have a new LMGs in the game. We do have a new LMG coming in Season 1 in the mid-season. Also, another FN product, which was with the FN's entry for the NGSW program for the light machine gun belt-fed version to replace the SAW. So we'll get that in game here in the future, coming up soon. Let me know your thoughts down below. The next time, this is Buffering Gaming with the MDM-22 or the FN America MRGG-A mid-range gas gun assault version. Chamberlain 762 by 51. Till next time, Buffering Gaming out.